just thought I'd shoot a quick video showing how you get a file ready to go to press at a printer's. So when we're receiving files, we like to receive them in a certain way to make sure that they go onto the machine and they look as they should when they come off the machine. So we don't have to really do anything to the file. We get it from the client ready to go. So this will apply to most printers and signage companies. Some might have some slightly different specifications, but if you follow these as a general rule, you would be fine. These only would apply if you're using correct design software. And when I mean that, I mean Adobe Illustrator or Adobe InDesign, not Adobe Photoshop. So Adobe Photoshop can be used for other things around the design, but to actually create the product ready for print and what we would call a print-ready file, that is not what you would use. So when I say a print-ready file, what I mean is it needs trim marks and it needs bleed. So bleed is where, if this is here we have a business card file open here, and we have a 2-page document, and that is a front and the back document, and it has what they call bleed on it. So bleed is the bits where that get cut off if it was guillotine. So we want the color to run to the edge of the card here, on the front only. On the back, a little bit over here as well, but mainly on the front of the card. So bleed is where the color goes off the edge of the page. So when the guillotine comes through and cuts these lines that you can see, the color runs to the edge. So in order to get that, it's very simple. So we have our artboard. So we have 2 artboards here. If it was InDesign, it would be pages, and it follows the exact same principle. So what we do is we just make sure that the color block or the image or whatever it is extends over that side, so over that line. So we would be doing 2 mil bleed, so we want to extend it to make sure it goes over at least 2 mil. So if my color had extended only to there, that's probably not far enough. We want to make sure it doesn't matter if it looks messy, if it looks like that or it looks like that. It doesn't matter that they don't line up with the other one. In this case, the black above it, it doesn't really matter, because when you get to save the PDF, it will sort all that out for you. So what we do is we just make sure it's extended on all sides like it is, and then when we go to save this file, so if I go to save this PDF file for print, what we have here, if I just save this one to the desktop, this is quite an old file, and we save it as a PDF, we have our PDF settings here. We go to marks and bleeds. We ensure trim marks is clicked. We don't need these other ones for print, registration marks. That's done on the printing press. And then we just ensure here is the settings that the printer's allowing. This will be somewhere between 1 and 3 mil, maybe a little bit more if it's signage, but generally if you use 2 mil bleed as a general rule, that is going to be enough. And let's see how that looks when it comes out. On the desktop now we have this file. Let's click on that and open it, and here we go. So what we have here, as you can see, this is cut off quite nicely down here, and you can imagine the guillotine is going to go through here. It's going to go through the top, and on the other page it does the same. So it hasn't, you're not seeing all these other elements in here. They have all cut off when we did the 2 millimeters. So essentially it's just 2 millimeters here, as you can see it in there, and that looks really very much ready for print, and we could send that file, and we should not have too many problems with that file. And that is how we get trim marks and bleed marks on a job for